Okay, so we are moving on with section 2.5, our learning target. You can solve a formula for a specified variable. So our last lesson, what we did is solve for when we only had to do one thing to get the variable along. We only had to move what got something connected. I just want to refresh your memory on how you get a variable by itself, given that it's a more than one step situation. And this is from your notes on Wednesday. You always move what isn't connected first, and then you move what is connected. That is the basis, connected. That is the basis of all algebra problems. You move what's not sticking to it, and then you move what is sticking to it. Okay, so if you can solve this, 2x plus 4 equals 6, and you know that you need to move this 4 first, then you can do today. You move what's not sticking to it, and then you move what is sticking to it. That's the foundation for today. All right, moving to your actual notes that you have today. We are going to solve a multi-step, 2 or more steps to get the variable by itself. And here's our first equation. 2y plus 4x equals negative 8. I want to solve this for y. That means I want to get y by itself. The first thing I do, move what isn't connected. Maybe write that down because you will want to reference that. Move what isn't connected. And then the second thing you're going to do, you're going to move what is. So, given this equation, 2y plus 4x is negative 8. And I want to get y alone. So I underline my variable. What is not connected to my y? The 4x. And you look at the same side of the equal sign, because some of you might have thought, hey, this negative 8 isn't connected. No, I'm looking at that same side of the equal sign. So I need to move this 4x. And I'm going to just write it, maybe rewrite the equation under so we can have some room for our algebra. So if this is a positive 4x, how do you move a positive? Subtract. So I'm going to subtract 4x from both sides of the equal sign. That's the subtraction property of equality, meaning I can subtract something as long as I do it to both sides. That's algebra for you. Then the 2y comes down. The x's cancel. And then, now notice what I'm going to do here. You can't combine these because they're not like terms. So I just put my variable in front. That's getting you ready for graphing a line in chapter 5. So you're going to write this as negative 4x minus 8. That just goes in front because you can't combine them. So I moved what was connected, now, or what isn't connected. Now I move what is connected. What's sticking to the y? 2. How do you get rid of the 2? Divide. And I have to divide both sides by 2. And you get y equals negative 4x minus 8 divided by 2. And I'm done. I'm done because my y is by itself. That's what I wanted alone. What you're going to be asked to do today, though, is solve and then determine y when x is given has the following given values. So I want to plug in for x, negative 1, 0, and 3. And it's going to take a lot. So when x is negative 1, here's what we got. Negative 4 times negative 1 minus 8 over 2. Let me repeat what I'm doing here. It says solve for y and then determine y when x is the following values. Negative 1, 0, 3. So I solved for y, that was this part. And now I need to determine what y is when x is -1, 0, and 3. So you have like tons of stuff you have to do for these things. You have to get the variable by itself, and then you need to do 3 different equations. I need to figure out y when x is -1, when x is 0, when x is 3. It's a lot. And I'll keep that in mind when I assign your homework. What's -4 times -1?
Four.
4. So this turns into 4 minus 8 over 2. 4 minus 8 is what?
4.
Negative. -4 over 2, which is -2. There's 1. I did that one. Now I need to figure out what y is when x is 0. Oh man. So when x, maybe you don't like how I said -1, maybe show x equals 0. So when x is 0, I go back to this equation that you solved for y. And I go -4 times 0 minus 8 over 2. -4 times 0 is 0. 0 minus 8 over 2, which is -8 over 2, which is -4. We have no room, darn it. I still have one more to do, 3. I'm going to scoot over to the question side of my Cornell note. So when x is 3, now you just put the 3 in. You always go back to the equation you got by itself. That's always our goal. And you get -4 times 3 minus 8 over 2, which is -12 minus 8 over 2. Which is not 4, it's -20, right? Because you got a plus a negative. So it's -20 over 2, -10. So you have like 4 answers here. You have your main answer, and then you have when x is -1, when x was 0, when x was 3. So you have 4 different answers that we're doing on that. Okay, so that was all one problem. Let's go back up and do the second problem. I don't know, do you guys have no room?
I have no.
You have no room. So let's go, so we'll just kind of skip out on that one. And let's go down to the bottom one. You should have some room there, right? For the Z one. Okay, always 2 steps. Move what's not connected. So I'm solving for Z here. What is not connected to my Z?
2xy.
2xy. So I want to move my 2xy. Is this a positive or negative 2xy? So how do you move positive?
Change it to a negative.
Minus 2xy. Do it to both sides of the equal sign. That cancels this out, and you have 3z equals, I like to put, whoopsies. We just kind of put it in front. Negative 2xy plus 5. Because you can't combine them, they're not like terms. Second thing, I move what is connected. So what's sticking to my z? 3. And how do you move that 3? Divide by 3 to both sides. And this one, that's all we had to do. Negative 2xy plus 5 over 3. I'm done because I wanted z by itself. Z is by itself. One more on this little section. I want to solve for A. That means I want A alone. So So you move what's not sticking to the A. What's not sticking to the A here? 2BC. So that's minus 2BC. What's the inverse of minus? Plus 2BC to both sides. And I would say just get in the habit of putting it in front, even though this is also a variable. Just put this term in front. It gets you ready for slope-intercept. So you have 3A equals 2BC, that's plus 5F. And I know it's plus because it's a positive. It's a positive 5F. Now, how do I move that 3? Divide, because it's 3 times. So divide by both sides, and I get A equals 2BC plus 5F all over 3. And I know I'm done because I wanted A by itself, and A is by itself. So this is really testing your fluency with algebra, with your knowledge that you move what's not sticking to a variable first, and then you move what is. We're going to bump up the rigor. And now you're going to see some with distributive examples. Okay, this next one I want to solve for A. I think instinctively you're going to want to distribute the A. Don't do it, because A needs to be in one spot in order to move it. So what's sticking to the A right now?
A parentheses.
A parenthesis. I love that you said that. A parenthesis is sticking to the A right now. So we need to get rid of that parenthesis. This is A times that parenthesis expression. What's the inverse of times?
Divide.
So you're going to divide by the parenthesis 4x minus 2, both sides. That cancels those parentheses out, and you get A equals 14 over parenthesis 4x minus 2. And I'm done. How do I know? Because I wanted A by itself. A is by itself. Okay, so, and I love how Zach said that the parenthesis is sticking to the A, because that's the best. I've never explained it that way, and I think it's the best way to be able to rationalize really what's going on. Parenthesis is sticking to the A, move the parenthesis. All right, look at this next one, solving for x. So do you see x's in 2 spots right now?
Oh, I do.
I need x in 1 spot. So this is really applying the distributive property still. You're sharing an x, so I want to take that x back. So what I do, see how the x is in 2 spots? I bring it to 1 spot. So I pull it away from what's being shared. So what did I times x by to get to 3x?
About 3.
Yeah. Do you see that? If you would distribute, you're working backwards from distribution. Here I have 3x. I pulled an x away, so I need a 3 left. Here I have an x and a y. I pulled an x away, so I need a y. And then you equal 42. Now it's just like what we did before. What's sticking to the x, because I want x by itself. What's sticking to it is the parenthesis, so I need to move the parenthesis. Divide through by it. Both sides, because that's the equality of algebra. And you get x alone. X is 42 divided by parenthesis 3 plus y.